Giving up on Toshi as of right now is something that I clearly won't do. And even though that's not financial advice, some people might be thinking, okay, why? Take a look at Toshi, had a good pump. Now there's a pullback. But I still believe that better days are ahead because when you think about it, right, 2 cents, that's still my price target for this board. And I think the journey is still very far. Keep in mind, if it were to go to the price of 2 cents, considering current circulating supply, market cap would be around $8 billion, which isn't even that difficult to achieve. Again, nothing I say is financial advice. But the reason being is because we've seen Shiba Inu reach around 40 billion. We've seen Dogecoin reach over 80 billion. Toshi is not going to defeat them. I'm going to make that clear. It's never going to exceed them in terms of market cap in the long term. But it doesn't mean that it can't achieve a glimpse of it. Because again, if something like Shiba Inu can reach around 40 billion, Dogecoin at one point reach over 80 billion, Toshi can't go to around an $8 billion market cap, which is around a 47x from here, by the way, because the price of Toshi did dump. But I'm just saying, I don't think it's too much to ask for. And again, the way I view it is that the lower the price, the better the buying opportunity. And when I take a look at stuff like this, the way I view it is that, why would I give up on it? It just makes no sense because I still think that better days are ahead. And I do believe that when it comes to something like this bull run, I think the journey is still very far, maybe as a worst case scenario, historically speaking, because usually as a worst case scenario, altcoins, they do typically peak around 18 months after a Bitcoin halving event. Again, this is based off history. The last Bitcoin halving event happened back in April of last year, so around 18 months would actually mean around October this year. And the way I view it is that I just have a hard time believing that what we saw, like very recently when it comes to Bitcoin, also a bunch of other altcoins, I just have a hard time believing that that is the peak of the bull run. The reason being is because we have over 600 million crypto owners currently. Now, that may be kind of not a big amount to some people because they may be thinking, okay, that's not even 10% of the world's population. Why is this a big figure, right? It's not like it's 40 or 50% of the world's population. Now, here's the thing. We have to have some perspective, I think, to understand just how massive this is because back in the peak of the 2021 bull run, which I think we can all agree was a very special year for altcoins, also Bitcoin, of course, the whole space overall. During the peak of that bull run that year, there was roughly around 300 million crypto owners. Now, again, according to Crypto.com research, there's over 600 million crypto owners. That's a totally night and day difference right there. That's pretty much double, really. So the way I view it is that when it comes to something like this, I just don't think it's over. Now, of course, there's going to be pullbacks along the way. Things can be kind of volatile in the short to medium term. But the way I view it is that when it comes to something like Toshi, it just makes no sense for me to give up on it because it's very special, right? It's named after Brian Armstrong's cat when it comes to the name of Toshi. Now, Brian Armstrong is the co-founder of Coinbase. Now, Coinbase has a layer 2 network called the Base Network, which Toshi is on. So again, I think you get the relation here. But then the amazing thing about the Base Network is that it wasn't like Coinbase just slapped together a layer 2 network and then called it a day. No, that wasn't the case because when you take a look at it, the Base Network is built in collaboration with Optimism, which is one of the leading Ethereum layer 2s. So when you think about it, right, they're joining forces, right, combining expertise. Now, Coinbase has the capital, Optimism has the expertise. This is why I think that the Base Network is very rock solid. And when I take a look at something like the Base Network, it's just going to continue to grow, in my opinion. And I think naturally as it does that, I think something like Toshi is going to go along with the ride. Take a look at Solana. When Solana popped off, what also popped off? Dog with Hat, Book of Meme, Jupiter, right? Which is a very famous DeFi project. So it's kind of no different here because usually when people see a network on the rise, when they believe in it, sometimes they're going to pay attention to other projects on there. And Toshi just kind of fits that bill, really. It's a fun, unique, interesting meme coin. It's not something that's exhausting to kind of understand because it's very simple. Just a meme coin. It's just like something that people usually treat as a joke or whatever. But I disagree with that. Again, it's not a serious project. But then the way I view it is that it's very serious for what a meme coin is. Like, of course, if someone compared Toshi to like Internet Computer or like Casper or like Hedera, then of course, it doesn't seem like a serious project, but it's actually very serious for a meme coin because Toshi even has something called Toshi Mart, which is a meme coin launchpad, basically. Allows individuals to launch their own meme coin. So that's interesting. Not to mention, you take a look at Toshi Tools, which will help quite essentially guide someone towards their journey to be building on the Base Network. So again, Toshi has some good features, at least for a meme coin. Now, not to mention, when we take a look at the Base Network, I think it's pretty much fail-proof. Now, why do I say this? I can't say 100% for sure because, of course, things could always fail, in my opinion. We just never know. But then the way I view it is that when it comes to the base network, it's almost as fail-proof as it gets, in my opinion, because when you take a look at Coinbase, when they make a layer 2, especially for something like the base network, which really hasn't gained this mainstream hype yet, it's very easy for them to rescue it, in my opinion, if something were to happen. I'm not saying anything is happening or will happen, but I'm just saying that if something were to happen in a hypothetical scenario, come on, Coinbase can rescue it so easily. It would be a bad look if it failed for Coinbase. Also optimism in a sense. Again, they're not just going to allow for that to fail. Now, a layer 2 has benefits though, because you take a look at a layer 2, what it does is that it basically allows Ethereum to be enjoyed, while at the same time not necessarily having to deal with a lot of the drawbacks like the high gas fees or scalability issues. So it does have a good purpose. Now, people may think that, okay, the base network is not unique enough to kind of warrant a lot of adoption, because they think that, okay, how is this different than Arbitrum or like, Immutable or like Myria? Sometimes people like to say, oh, these layer 2s, they're much more technologically advanced or whatever. Now, here's the thing. The base network isn't anything revolutionary when it comes to layer 2s, but then the fact that is, Coinbase's layer 2, that holds a lot of value. You know what I mean? It's like, for instance, let's say a very famous figure or a very famous celebrity makes a restaurant, or let's say, they start selling, I don't know, whatever the case may be, broomsticks or whatever. I'm not sure, right? But then let's say they do something like that. It's not like it's necessarily anything special in some cases, but then just because it's attached to like a famous individual's name, which maybe has a good following, a very good reputation, that holds a lot of value. So the way I view it is that when it comes to something like, again, the base network, its value is not really in its fundamentals, but it's on the Coinbase aspect, right? Coinbase is layer 2. Now, the way I view it is that this bull run is far from over. I'm still going to believe in this. I'm not giving up any time or income. I'm acquiring, I'm holding, and I'm just waiting. That's it. Because Toshi, let's face it, is very cool. Not only is it named after Brian Armstrong's cat, the name is very similar to Satoshi Nakamoto, which we all know is allegedly the creator of Bitcoin. So when I take a look at something like Toshi, I think it's far from over, really. I mean, again, 2 cents are on a 47x from here. It's a no-brainer for me. All I gotta do is stay patient and just continue to accumulate and believe in this. And that's it. I'm not gonna be day trading or using leverage or swing trading. I'm not in here to overcomplicate my life for no reason. That's not what I'm in here for. I'm looking to believe in projects and simplify my life in the best way possible. And I think dollar cost averaging is that, because quite essentially, anytime an income I acquire, I hold, and I switch, that's it. It's so simple. Now, it may not yield like amazing short-term, benefits, like in the sense, like it's not going to randomly do a 10x in a day or whatever. If like I did day trading, maybe that could happen. Who knows? I don't see a lot of people doing that, but I'm just saying, that could happen in the short term. But then I'm more so in here for the long term. I treat this as a marathon, it's not a sprint. And make sure to subscribe if you gain value from this video. I greatly appreciate it. It's Malik the Captain, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.